What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of the Apartment K podcast. This is episode, I don't know, because who's counting?
But
In this episode, we're actually going to do a review of the movie Sinners, which just came out. Shout out to
like 2 weeks ago.
Ryan Coogler. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
And Michael B. Jordan, who is the star in my opinion. And we're also going to be doing a review of Black Mirror, season 7. So,
And also, we got merch.
well, that's just that's why we look all head ass like a awkward couple who matches.
Like an awkward ass couple.
Yeah, we're very excited. Designed by CD Falls. Cute little, like the beginning of our merch. We want to have merch line different. I want to for sure do shirts, but I also want to do a zip up hoodie, which he's very much against.
I don't like zip up hoodies personally, but whatever. Merch is merch.
What are you looking? Just making sure it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it'd be cute, the zip up hoodie and then the merch in the back. So different ideas, different designs, but this is the start of it and we're very proud. And we ordered it maybe like a week ago and it came super fast. So let us know if you guys want to get it. You know, link will be in the bio and all that good stuff.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah. And of course we're trying to bring different colors because, you know, me and white, it just makes me nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I already got makeup on it, like right over here. Hopefully you can't tell that much on screen.
But anywho, the movie. What did you think?
Well, to start, spoiler alert, because we are gonna go into the movie, so definitely watch it, whatever. Before kind of getting into it, I wanted to give just a little brief synopsis of what the movie is actually about, because I went into it without knowing shit. He literally texted me, was like, "Do you want to watch Sinners?" Googled it, saw Michael B. Jordan was in it, love Michael B. Jordan, so I was like, whatever, fuck it. Essentially, to give you a very basic synopsis, it's a black vampire movie that's set in Mississippi. They called it gothic vampire movie, which I'm not specifically sure what gothic opposed to any other horror genres are, but that's what like the internet called it. My initial impression of going into it, and it was directed and written by Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther and I don't know what else he's done.
A bunch of other shit. He does like black people movies.
Yeah, really great black people, not a Tyler Perry. Like no shade at Tyler Perry at all, but not really that sense, but very thought-provoking movies. To me, similar to Michael Peele. I don't know if you would agree to that comparison.
Michael B.
I mean, sorry, Jordan Peele.
Yeah, but he does more like, I guess, like social commentaries. Like all his movies.
Who does?
That nigga Coogler.
Oh, okay, yeah. So does Jordan Peele, but
yeah, but his shit's more abstract.
Okay,
whereas like besides Black Panther, I think a lot of his movies are centered on like the black experience.
Okay, I can see that definitely. So, kind of knowing that little background, I kind of had an idea what to go into, but not really. Pleasantly surprised. It's a very fun movie, and I'm not a big horror movie person at all. I actually got pretty scared, and we'll go into this more, but it wasn't very horror in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To go more into it, it's about these two twins played by Michael B. Jordan, which he did a phenomenal job doing. Shout out to him. And essentially they come back to establish a business in Mississippi. And through that, you get the whole social commentary of like the Ku Klux Klan and being black in that era, especially in the South. And then the cool thing that I thought about the movie was like the whole first half was just like the black experience in Mississippi.
Yeah, definitely.
And then like towards the end, they're like, oh yeah, and fucking vampires.
Right. And they had like really dynamic, interesting characters as well. Like essentially the witch doctor Mary, you know, or Annie, sorry, who was one of the brothers' like girlfriend or whatever. I thought her character as a whole was very interesting. And she was just like a badass person. Yeah. And I also love the characters of the two Asian couple, you know, and the daughter as well. And then because I actually looked into the whole, you know me, into the movie, what people were thinking, and it was very historically accurate of the Mississippi Chinese people, and they're very integrated in the society, and they came to pick cotton after slavery was over. So that's why they weren't seen as immigrants, but they had the whole the accent and the southern accent, which I thought was very cool. And then they had the white shop and the black shop.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'll say about like Asian people. They assimilate very well.
Asian
Like
people are just hustlers.
they assimilate, but then they also like keep their culture. You know what I
Definitely,
mean? Like
definitely.
I feel like even in the Bay Area, there's lot of like Asian people
Uh-huh.
who are very much like hella Bay Area, but
Yeah.
then you go to their house or whatever, and it's like Asian as fuck.
And that's
You know
interesting
what I
you
mean?
say that. And I kind of love that about just immigrants as a whole. Not all, obviously, but immigrants as a whole. I love that they very much keep to their roots and everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if they can.
If they can, exactly. Like, even my family and like even Mongolians, there's not a lot of them, but we're very Mongolian. The
Yeah,
community is very
exactly.
strong. And I love that. And and I won't say it's just Asians, because Hispanic community is very much like that. African communities are very much like that. And it's also like you want to find your community in a very foreign world, so it kind of makes
Hmm.
sense. So it's interesting. And I didn't even know of the history of Chinese people in the Mississippi.
I mean, they were everywhere. It wasn't just in
Well, of
Mississippi.
course.
But the cool thing I thought about like the Chinese people
Mm-hmm.
is like that one scene where he's like, "Go get your mother,"
Mm-hmm.
and she just like goes across the street,
The daughter, yeah.
and so basically they had like a white people convenience store and
Exactly.
then like a black people convenience store because it was segregated,
Uh-huh.
obviously. But the Asian people were like, "Well, we're just gonna have two stores."
Exactly.
I thought that shit was hella fucking funny.
It was so funny and fun and very historically accurate, and a lot of people on the internet were saying you don't really see that depicted in film and just history a lot, specifically about Chinese people being very assimilated and being the culture of Mississippi in the South.
Hmm.
They just make it seem like it's very much immigrants, but they are very much part of the culture. And even during those times, they weren't completely white and accepted by the white people, and they
Hmm.
completely weren't like black and completely ostracized and all of that shit. So
Hmm.
they were always kind of like the third people, and it was just an
Yeah.
interesting lore that I fell into. And I love that he depicted it. I really thought it was done very well, and you could tell even in the film that the Chinese people respected obviously the black people and all of that. He
Yeah.
was like the husband was friends with the twins.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just so great. And I feel like there's just so many little elements of that movie that we can just go on and on. I highly recommend watching it. Another big part of the whole the film was basically the main vampire, the head vampire is Irish and has have the whole like history of the Irish and being invaded by Catholic and I believe England as well. I think that's the other thing.
Hmm.
And the parallels between the Irish diaspora and the African diaspora, and they go into that as well. And I don't know, what did you think about that aspect and the whole music part of it? Because I'm not a big musical person.
I mean, I thought that it was cool. You feel me? That was obviously
Hmm.
what they wanted to kind of hold everything together.
Yeah.
Cause like in the beginning they explain like the whole lore, I guess, was that like music transcends time and culture and all this shit. So like the music of that time was blues, which
Yeah.
is like a byproduct of post slavery, the
Right.
sadness that black people felt, and a way for them to kind of escape their woes, if you will.
Hmm.
So I felt like that's kind of what they were harping on a lot,
Hmm.
specifically with that like one scene in the barn where like they brought all the cultures in and shit like that.
Right, right.
So that was like the thing, I guess, was the parallel that the Irish dude, the Remick the vampire,
Hmm.
he was missing his culture.
Right.
But when he heard Sammy's music,
Right.
he was like, he can bring back my culture. Because I thought it was interesting too, like when they first show up to the juke house or whatever,
The Juke Jam.
the juke jam,
Hmm.
he just had like the band, like he was playing music, trying to
Right.
get in. You know what I
So
mean?
I kind of actually looked into that as well, and the whole reason why the vampires even came was because kind of the backstory is Sammy's music. Sammy is basically, to give you full context, Sammy is the two cousins who were played by Michael B. Jordan's his cousin, and Sammy's dad is a preacher man. So it's very much the divide between God, holiness and kind of unity and monoculture, you know, that religion represents, versus music, freedom, and just everything that, like, the antithesis, you know what I mean, the opposite of that. And that's what kind of Sammy was gravitating towards. And he's a guitar player, and his music essentially, it's otherworldly in that it kind of summoned those vampires. And basically the whole thing was Remick in the background, like he always was into the music and all of that. And because it was a very hive mind thing, like the other vampires like could do that shit. But I guess it was kind of random that they just came with the banjo and shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I wish they could have explained more, like, what his plan was for Sammy.
Same.
Like, he kind of was just like, I want you, Sammy. Pause. But they didn't really explain. Like, I wish they would have been like you're going to start singing Irish folklore songs so I can see my wife or something or some shit. But I really appreciated Cook, the actor, whatever, I don't know his real name, but the nigga Cook from Skins plays the vampire. Mm-hmm. Great fucking actor. He was cracking me up whenever he'd be like, hey, Sammy. And he would like chase him and shit. That shit had me fucking dying.
No, it was very funny. And then I'm not a big like musical whatever, and there was a big musical scene where Remick, the Cook vampire, does basically like a Gaelic whole like Irish river dance and all that shit. Very, I don't know, just a very interesting, thought-provoking. And when you just think about the whole underlying story, it's like good versus evil, very basic, you know?
That was his version of the juke jam.
Right, no, exactly.
After, spoiler, well, it's already said it's spoiler, but he basically, like, turns all the people who are in the juke jam, like all the niggas and shit. So then they're just outside the juke jam trying to get, like, the last 4 people. And they're all doing, like, the Irish. Yeah. It's literally,
it's like a river, whatever dance.
Yeah, like, the parallel was, like, super interesting.
So interesting. And I don't know. And obviously, there's just a lot, like, themes of race and, like, colorism. Because there's the character of Haley Steinfeld, who looks like a white woman. Essentially is a white woman. But she's a quarter black. And she has relationships with one of the twins, and she's kind of like the catalyst for bringing the vampires in because she goes to talk to them. Yeah. In that aspect. And then it turns out the big kind of twist, in my opinion, was basically the twins got the house from this white person. We essentially a racist person. And then the white guy says this very interesting thing, like, there's no more Ku Klux Klan members.
Yeah, but he was lying.
He was obviously lying, and it turns out they were gonna kill them anyways. And
what I think it was too, though, he was like, there's no more Ku Klux Klan, but they're still racist.
Right, of course.
And even when they showed up to kill him at the end of the movie, they didn't have their robes on.
They didn't.
They just pulled up like, let's just go kill this guy.
Well, what Remick was saying, remember the couple was the cousin or the niece of that guy, and then they had the robes.
Yeah, but they just had it.
Well,
they didn't throw it away.
No, but I think that was alluding to the fact that it still exists, and they are still Klansmen.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not. There's no. It's like there's no more Crips, but we're all like Crips. You feel me?
Well, there's still KKKs to this day, so it still exists. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I don't get it.
Like, they're not gonna say we're the Klan. They're just like, we're race, like we're right. You know what I mean? It's like hush hush.
I still don't get what you're saying.
Like, never mind. But
maybe somebody else would, yeah.
Like, I do think it was interesting that he turned those 2 people. Like, it seemed like he used the racism in their favor, but I don't think that Remick was necessarily racist himself. He was just like.
Well, that was the whole point. He wasn't. He was more on the side of the black people. He felt that he was being fucked over by those people as well.
But I don't think he cared about that either. I think he was just out for, like, vampires in general.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because the internet kind of made it seem like he kind of... There was actually a very interesting point some people made that he was kind of trying to, in his way, save them from... Because his people went through it, so he, in a way, wanted to save black people, in a sense, from the horrible shit that his people already went through. So in his way, he was like, well, join us, you can become free as the vampires, even though that's eternal damnation, blah blah blah.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he cared about them being black. I think he recognized the plight, but I think he did the same thing with the white. Like he just said,
See, I disagree. I think he did care because of the whole.
Sure, but I think he said what he had to say. Like he empathized with them to try to convince them just to be vampires.
Got
like
it.
his end goal is for them to be vampires. He
Got
like
it.
if it was like a bunch of Mexicans, he would have been like, "Oh, like you're oppressed. So you should just be with me. It's freedom."
See,
You know what I mean?
I get it. I get you, but I digress in the sense that I think he himself saw it as trying to save those people. But I
Sure.
get you
But
in that. Did he care about black people
If
specifically?
he went to a Klan's rally,
And I don't think he would. I think he would just like.
but he said we're gonna go turn them after.
I know, but he would have turned them good. Like he's saving them and turning them, doing.
What is good? No, he's just turning them into
No, I
vampires.
know, but what-
it's self-serving. He's not
That's-
like we're gonna be good people together.
Well,
Because
what I mean
then
is
once
good-
they're vampires, they're gonna go kill a bunch of other people.
good is like what he thinks is good. He's stopping the evil, which he thinks is the
Sure.
Klansmen and like fucking these people. I'm just saying that's what the internet like. That's his
that's what's up.
self-serving.
I don't
you know?
think that's what it was though. Personally,
I don't know.
I
think
disagree.
yeah, that's what I heard, and then I was like, okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like any group he would have approached, he would have empathized in order to serve his goal of turning them into vampires.
Right.
To get more, like he's just trying to convert them.
Whereas I get that, but the overall point is he wants to make it a world where people like that suffering and shit. So like the ultimate. I need to send you that whole thing. How I understood what those people were saying. Like, of course, he's gonna say whatever to turn those people so they can agree with him. But his overall goal and the entire point of his story and to show his suffering was he doesn't want like Catholicism and in order essentially the man or whatever the government
Right.
to do shit like that again. So, I mean, it's like Thanos. You know, they're all essentially doing bad
And it's
shit.
They're
But
all,
he thought he was doing the right
but each
thing,
group
you know?
is self-serving. Is my point.
Right,
The
right.
black people are serving
Right.
themselves, or let's put it even break it down. The Christians are serving themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The gangsters are serving themselves. The Ku Klux Klan is serving themselves, right?
Right.
The vampires are serving themselves. Like they're all self-serving, and they think that their group is right. So people in the Klan are like, "You should join the Klan." The Christians are like, "You should come join the church." The gangsters are like, "Come be gangsters."
Well,
with
let me
us."
say the KKK is not saying you should join the Klan too, like black people or
No,
whatever.
obviously they have a demographic. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like they think that their group is like the good group.
Whereas what I'm saying, and I guess maybe we just have two different points. What they're saying is like the bad people and shit. I don't know.
Who's they? The internet?
Yeah, no, they didn't. Like
Oh,
essentially,
I'm like,
what I was
Who the fuck is it? Like the voices
like,
in your head?
well, this thing that I read that I thought I agreed with, so I'm trying to like understand
Okay.
exactly because I was like, that's an interesting point they're making. I wish I could pull it up, but
Well, what I was trying to get at is like
Uh-huh.
the vampire shit is just the new religion.
got it.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, I see.
Like
what you
it's
mean.
like even the way like they were kind of framing it like, oh, come with us, it's just love
Right,
and peace.
right.
We can all share each other's thoughts. Like, yeah, that's cool, that's a good idea, but you're also dead. And
Right.
your soul's damned, right?
Well, that's the-
So it's like it's a double-edged sword. In the
Exactly.
perfect world, yeah, that'd be great. But
Right.
every group has their cons,
Right.
their negatives or whatever.
And even at the end, when like the other vampire and then the girl, you know, they can still only go out at night and
Yeah, Stacks and the white bitch.
which I thought that was like an interesting way to end it.
Yeah.
But
What did you think about the what did you think about the ending?
like specifically what part?
Like the part where Smoke like kills all the Klansmen?
I thought it was fun.
You thought it was fun?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was like
It was so awkward for me because I was sitting next to like 3 white dudes and he was just like fucking them up. And I wanted to just look over and be like,
but it's also
Yeah.
Oakland. It's very much like I'm sure
No,
those
no,
white
no.
people who are like fuck, you know.
nah, obviously they came to see the movie. I'm
Yeah.
not saying they're racist. It was just like hella funny, like
Yeah.
seeing like a shit ton of white people get murdered on camera, and like you want to be like, yeah, go Ryan, awkward. Like, like if it was reversed, right? If it was like a white dude killing a bunch of black dudes and I was sitting next to a white dude, I'd
Yeah.
be like, what the fuck? But I will say the turnout for the movie was pretty crazy. We went to go see it at the Grand Lake and like it was fucking packed. Like
Yeah.
people couldn't find seats and shit. Like it was wild. But yeah, it was a pretty mixed crowd. To your point, like Oakland, I feel like the diversity, everyone, you know, it's pretty.
Yeah, and like you
Open-minded.
said, we've talked about how it's a very unique movie, like one of one, you know. So I feel like people just
Yeah.
like seeing different shit.
Yeah, like that being the reason why it's doing so well. Because it's like an original IP.
But kind of going back to the ending, I did like it a lot in the sense because we kind of find out, which we already knew, Annie, who was his girlfriend and kind of the witch doctor, she gave him the amulet or like the little
Yeah,
protection stone, and basically the lore of the twins, they are World War I survivors or veterans.
I think it's two.
It's one.
Oh,
I
oh, it
looked to
is.
see. Yeah, it's
Really?
one. That's what I thought. World War I. Yeah, because it was only the 1915s or some shit, and then
I
they
don't
went to the
even
80s.
know.
So it
Yeah.
was World War I survivors, and there was this conversation Annie and Stax, one of the twins, had, and she was like, "Well, I was protecting you." He's like, "How was I able to come through the whole
Right.
time?"
Yeah.
And you could see, and basically she ends up dying, and you see that they had a kid together, so she goes to the kid. It's this whole thing because
Well, I don't know if you peep, but like when Stacks and Smoke were fighting,
yeah, I did.
and then Stacks he was trying to like bite him, but he
You
couldn't
couldn't because there was like
because
the
of the
thing
amulet, right?
exactly.
So at first I thought I don't know if you noticed, but both of them had like a coin necklace.
Oh, I didn't.
So Smoke had the coin necklace
Uh huh.
and the fucking Mojo
Yeah,
necklace or
that she
whatever.
gave him.
So I thought it was because the Mojo necklace was silver, or not,
Oh,
or because the
a
coin was
gold.
silver. Yeah,
Oh,
but I think it was the Mojo thing.
it definitely was because that's what they said as well.
That's
They
what
as
they
the
said.
internet, yeah.
Yeah,
So definitely that, and
they
then
them.
exactly, and then another thing. Before he fought with the KKK, he took it off because he was finally ready to die.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why and then he like died, and
I don't know if so he takes out the coin that was
oh, I didn't even know.
so he because then he out of his pocket he takes out the other coin
Mm.
that he took off of Stack's body, and then when he's like gunning them down, he has it like in his hand.
Oh, really?
So
No, I
you
didn't
see
notice
like
that.
so what I saw on the internet, they're saying it's like him and his brother going into battle for like the last time.
Ah, okay,
But that
yeah.
kind of, which I guess makes sense because he knew he was gonna die,
Uh
but
huh.
he let Stacks go.
Yeah, I thought
So
that
it's
was
like
interesting. Yeah.
he's not actually like you're symbolically dying with your brother, but he's not
He's
dead.
not dead. Well, you could argue he was always dead because it's
Well, in the literal
yeah,
sense, sure, but
yeah. But no, definitely. So just great scenes like that. I don't know. I really like the movie, and I definitely want to watch it again just to see like what I missed.
yeah,
Like I'm already very excited to watch it again.
it's for sure one of those movies you gotta like sit through a couple times. You
Definitely,
know,
and in my opinion, it wasn't too long either. You
it
know,
was long as shit, but it was
it was
it was
long.
really interesting. I will say though, I feel like some of the pacing was a little too slow. Like
Mm,
there were certain scenes like we talked about before that I feel like they could have just cut altogether.
like which
Um,
scenes?
like mostly towards the end, like the flashbacks and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, which I didn't
But
mind. I like the flashbacks.
also like again though, it's like some of the scenes were just like too long, but like the dialogue was like either really good or really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like okay, like I'll let it pass, but it wasn't necessary.
I can see that.
Where I feel like if they had used that airspace for what I think more horror elements, especially when the
Mm,
vampires come, I
yeah.
feel like it would have made it a little bit more well rounded, you know?
Which again, it's because I don't like horror. I appreciated that it was a very like horror like
I mean, it doesn't gotta be like a bunch of jump scares and shit like
yeah,
that,
I
but
can see that.
just something like I wish they had made the
Because the vampires weren't very scary at all.
that's what I'm saying, and they just
Yeah.
kind of showed up like, hey, what's up? We're vampires, you know?
And
Like once we knew it was vampires, like I wasn't. It was just like, how are they gonna get out of this?
and
It
I'll
wasn't
say this,
scary.
from what I read, a lot of people did like kind of how the vampires were more like realistic looking, and which I thought was interesting. Because to me, I don't know.
The eye shit was cool as fuck.
That's what people were
Yeah,
saying. That
I
shit
like
was
the eye
cool.
shit.
That's what people were saying. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I
you didn't like that?
I didn't not like it, or I just didn't even like think about it. And a lot of people were like, the eye shit was really cool, and I was like, I didn't even like really,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
funny.
thought that was interesting.
Um,
But I don't know, great movie. Haley Steinfeld was a great in it as well, just like sexy and like played.
oh no, I know what I was gonna say. I
Huh.
wish there was a moment when like the power had gone out or something, and then they had to like figure out how to like get the power back, like something to just kind of like raise the
Oh,
stakes
okay,
a
I see.
little.
I was
You
like,
know
what
what I
power?
mean?
I see.
Like I
Yeah.
feel like it was very much just like them arguing, and then the Asian lady was just like come in, and then they just
Yeah.
fought. You know what
I
I
will
mean?
say this, of course, you see that knowing Ryan Coogler's background and they like the black historical context. He wanted to show a movie more about the black story, opposed to, in my opinion, a horror movie. It was the story first and the horror movie second. Not saying that's a bad thing at all. And I honestly enjoy that more, but that's how I saw it. I thought.
But then you could just not have vampires.
I mean, yeah.
Like when you add vampires, you're making it a horror movie. Or a thriller at the very least.
I mean, it was a thriller, definitely.
But it wasn't that thrilling. Like, I felt like the literally the first 5 minutes of the movie were more, like, thrilling.
Oh, with yeah.
Like, that shit, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
like, what
yeah.
the fuck's
I thought it was
about
going
to
to be scarier.
Yeah.
Same.
And then the rest of the movie, I was just waiting to be like,
That's
or
so
whatever.
funny you say that. I totally thought that was like, oh, shit, this is going to be a scary movie.
That was, like, a great, like
how it, the
intro,
flashes to it. Yeah,
like,
definitely.
That shit.
But, oh, my God, let me say this, and I'm a little biased because I fucking love blues. The fucking music in it was just so beautiful. Like, it made me want to cry because it was like Sammy, the person the blues player and just kind of the catalyst of the whole story. He just plays it so well. And the younger actor who played Sammy, it's his first role and has a beautiful voice. And he just needs to be like a blues singer. It was fucking, it gave me the chills, dude. I was like, this is incredible. I just wanted to add that part for just music lovers and just people who just like to listen to beautiful sounds. Incredible.
I'm like personally not the biggest blues fan. Like I appreciate it, but
you too young.
I guess I ain't got that old soul.
Right. And then I also learned this, don't quote me, I don't know if I should have fact checked it, but they said bluegrass originates from that Irish music, which I thought was interesting.
Probably.
Yeah. I was like, that's beautiful. So
but
fuck you, like whoever, if you're not a fan of horror, you're not a fan of like, I don't know, just movies, whatever, you have to watch it.
I feel like music is like food where like everybody takes a little bit of something. You
definitely.
know? It's hard to say where like any one genre.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's not true because you could be like jazz started here,
Yeah.
hip hop started here.
Excuse me.
But it's like all those musical styles take from other things that existed. Like who the fuck invented the guitar?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I bet you there's like somebody out there like you fucking idiot.
But that's what I'm saying. But then the guitar is in so many other genres of music. So you can't just be like jazz appeared out of nowhere on its own. It had all these other pieces that came together to make it.
There was just like little stuff that I just loved in it. When we found out at the end, you know how one of the twins lied and said it was Bill Paxton's guitar to Sammy. It ended up being the dad's.
I knew that already.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah, like I was like, it's probably their dad's, and then
I didn't know the dad was like a jazz person. Did they say that?
No, they didn't say that, but I was like, where did they get this guitar?
Well,
when they ran away from home.
Right, right. Well, they said they won. I was like, maybe they were like, because the back. Another thing was the twins were with the mob and like in Chicago. A really cool backstory. And then, fuck, I just had like a point I wanted to talk about in the movie. What I thought was interesting was they never really talked about the twins' mother, only the dad, and like how he was like a shitty person and like people hated him. I was like, I wonder what happened to the mom, because it made it seem like they didn't have a great childhood. So another thing since it was a longer movie, I wish they kind of went into the backstory of each person more. I know that would have been a little hard, but I would have loved to know the backstory of the twins and the cousin and like the brother and like, I mean, and then the dads. You know, in the preacher.
God damn, you want to know everyone's backstory?
That's how great of a story it was. Besides the vampire, like I was telling your mom this. Like the beginning part just could have been its own movie, and I would have loved that. Just about Mississippi preachers and their whole story. I'm just saying. I was like, fuck the vampire part.
Wait for Mr. Kugler to drop his book or whatever.
Like, you didn't think that family was very interesting in their whole shit?
I mean, I wasn't like, oh, I wonder what the dad's childhood was like. I didn't give a fuck.
Because they made it seem like he was an asshole, but obviously the brother was a preacher. So, like, I don't know. I thought it was very interesting.
I think that would have been unnecessary for the story. Like, I understand your curiosity, but I don't think it adds to this. I think they gave us enough to understand, like, who Stacky Smoke was compared to who Sammy was.
Right.
And why they were there and why they left and all. Like, they gave you enough.
Yeah.
Which I think he did very well. Like, I think...
No, he did. I just wanted to know more.
Yeah, of course. But that's you. You're just, like...
I'm nosy.
Super nosy.
Or even Annie's background. We knew very little. Like, alluded that she was West African and, you know...
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know much, and she lived in that. And they kind of made it seem like she was the witch doctor of the town with the little kids coming, and she gave them medication or some shit.
Yeah.
Very little, again, very little like clues and stuff like that, but I don't know. And even their relationship and their baby, like how did the baby die and all of that shit. I'm like, Mr. Google, can you just make one just for me so I can
the
watch
director's
it?
cut.
Hell yeah.
It's like 10 hours long.
I would watch that shit. Like you said, make it into a mini series. Like hell yeah.
Fucking docu-series on these fictional characters.
That's some like billionaire shit, you know? Like billionaires are like, just make me this shit just for me. When they have their weddings, they invite like Beyonce to perform.
I wonder if he would even do it.
Bro, for the right price, I'd be like, bro, I'll give you $1 billion. How many movies can you make with that shit? Just finish this fucking shit for me. Okay.
You're funny.
To rate it out of 10, what would you rate it? I already have my answer.
I give it a solid 9.
9.5. That's how much I like
9.5. That's good.
Really
I give
good.
it a 9 because I do think the story was very unique, but I also think the portrayal of the vampires is one of my favorite.
Of just vampire stories in general.
Like I would say it's like
definitely agree.
Like of that type of vampire, it's like that, and then
definitely agree.
What is it? 30 Days a Night.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. 60
Days a Night.
But that might be the zombie one. I know which one you're talking about.
No, it's vampires.
Yeah.
The one where they're in Alaska.
But similar names, yeah.
It's either 30 or 60 days. I don't know. Whatever.
You know a vampire movie I like? This is the old one with Tom Cruise. Interview with a Vampire. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't think I've seen that shit. No. Great.
Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah,
you know
seen that.
I haven't seen it, but they remade. They have a remake of it. I think it's a show on Netflix. Yeah.
We should watch it. I didn't know that.
Or it's on the streaming shit. It's on one of them.
Interesting. Ooh, there's this new show called The Deuce that I want to watch.
The Deuce?
I don't know if you've already seen it.
I haven't seen it.
But yeah, I definitely want to, maybe not this week, but next week I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm excited about this. I just want to pull up the names of it. We also want to talk about Black Mirror, Season 7, 6 episodes. We're going to start off with Common People, which was, give you a very brief synopsis. Basically, just, I want to talk briefly about what we thought, and I want to rate it out of 10.
Okay.
So Common People was the one with Rashida Jones, first episode, obviously. It's the one where a futuristic world and basically healthcare, I don't know if healthcare, but this lady, she gets like a brain disease or something. She has like a stroke or something, and she is brain dead. And essentially you can take your consciousness and, what is it? You can take your consciousness and
it's like a subscription.
There we go. For your brain, essentially, and you're a human again. But they have this weird caveat that it's like the iPhone. There's a newer iPhone, so the older iPhone isn't working better, so you have to pay a little bit more. And it was just very dark. And I actually, when I looked into it, people weren't really liking that episode. And I also heard that people weren't liking the season as well because of the big names in it. But just talking about the episode alone.
That's interesting.
Yeah. What did you think of the episode?
I mean, it wasn't my favorite.
No?
No.
How come?
I was just bored. Like, I thought, I mean, you know, all their concepts are cool and interesting, but I just thought this one was, like, dry.
Which is interesting because he essentially had watched the episode before me, and then we rewatched it together. And I remember you specifically were like, it's boring. Let's, if you don't want to watch it, let's just go to the next one. I'm so glad we watched it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was interesting / thought-provoking / something we're headed towards, so realistic.
Like every episode.
Yes, but I don't know. This one freaks me out the most. I don't know why. I don't know why this one freaked me out the most. Maybe it's because I spend so much time on my phone. And it was just kind of creepy because at night they would do like updates on her brain. So essentially she would sleep longer and she would just still feel exhausted. And I feel like that's some shit I've been, you know? And I feel like we're very close to just literally having that technology. And even if you just think about it, everyday world and how, like, diabetes medication is so expensive and shit, we are gonna have some shit like that, and it's gonna be prescription based, and you know, poor people are just gonna be fucked over. So I think that part just made me feel all like, after watching that episode, I felt gross.
I guess.
I'll say that. Like, it just made me feel, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that deep because
Uh,
we already basically have that. It's called healthcare. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you have more money, you get
Right.
better treatment.
yeah.
If you don't have a lot of money, you just kind of die.
Yeah.
And is that unfortunate? Yes, but that's not like a dystopian future. That's
Right.
today.
I mean, yeah.
They just made it like technological. Like, it's a
Technological.
subscription. You have an app. Like,
And that's probably why it just bothered me a
Yeah.
lot, is because it's so realistic. It also reminded me of like the black market organ trading, and you hear people like selling their kidney for an iPhone and crazy shit like that. Hers was a little different because like she couldn't help it, but I want people to watch it because it's an interesting one. I liked it a lot. I would give it like a 6 out of 10.
I would give it a straight up 2.
Really? Whoa.
It was boring. I didn't like it.
That's actually crazy. I didn't think you would give it that low.
I could care less for that episode.
Really?
I don't
Okay.
care.
Okay.
It did nothing for me.
Nothing. Okay. And it was just that boring. Like, you didn't think it was thought provoking or
Nope.
anything. Interesting. I'm very interested. After, if you guys did watch it, let me know what you guys think. Just if you agree with us, if you thought it was boring, because I actually thought you would have enjoyed it a little bit better.
Nope.
Okay. A 2 and a 6. The next one is gonna be the Bête Noire one, which that's the one with the black girl who worked for the company.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is essentially, I feel like people say it's a great embodiment of kind of gaslighting and the Mandela effect. Basically, this girl works for a company, and this girl, she used to go to high school, works for it again, and whatever she would say was was a lie. Like, she would say something and the other girl would be like, well, that didn't happen.
She basically had so
Yeah.
this girl that got bullied as a fucking kid grew up to be like this super genius because she was always into computers. So she built a quantum computer that basically allowed her to teleport, transport, whatever you want to call it, into alternate realities.
Yeah.
So she had a device that she made where basically whatever she said, she could be like, the sky's orange, and then they would be in an alternate universe where the sky is orange.
It's orange, yeah.
Right? And it was always orange.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
her targets were the only people who knew, like, I guess the original world, if you will. So why he was gaslighting is because they thought they were going insane, when really this lady was just like altering reality.
And
to some
they're the
degree.
only person who knows.
And
like
they're the
you
only
said.
person who knows.
Exactly.
And she was doing it to fuck with them because they
bullied
tortured.
her.
Yeah, they bullied, not tortured. They bullied her as a kid.
To me, I was like, what a
don't know
fucking
why.
crazy bitch, though, girl who was doing that. I was like, it was not that serious. Just because they called her, like, said she gave a blowjob to some very, like, overreaction, in my opinion.
Like, awkward kids take shit.
I mean, school
Like, you know what
shooters.
I mean? Yeah, like,
I know.
you can't
I
really
know.
dictate how someone's gonna react to something.
And it was just, oh, and then I wanted to talk about this specifically because when I was doing my internet research, apparently there was 2 versions of it that the audience saw. We don't know which version. Well, I know which versions we saw. When there was a scene when there was a hat and let me go back. There's a restaurant in their universe called Barney's or Bernie's, and the gaslighting was, in their world, it was Barney's or Bernie's. And apparently what Netflix did, some people saw the Bernie's version, some people saw the Barney's version. One was like the actual, we saw the Barney's being Bernie's. So like people were having discussions, and that's what I love about fucking whoever does Black Mirror. They make it so like audience interactive, and I think that's so fun.
That's hilarious.
When I found that shit out, I was like, dude, that's so fucking clever.
I wonder how they chose. Like,
Same.
it's like everyone who's late on their fucking payment, they're like, bitch, it's Barney's.
Dude,
You're gonna
I
sound
literally
crazy.
was like, that's so crazy that they even did that to us, because they did that with the band or whatever, the video game shit.
Yeah.
So fucking fun. I like this one, but I would give this one like a 4.
I'd give it like a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting.
It was an interesting concept for sure.
I didn't expect the quantum computer thing.
Same.
So I was like curious to see how they were gonna explain like this bitch literally losing her mind.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll say this, why I rated it so low is because of the whole quantum thing, and other people said as well, as it seemed a bit too unrealistic. They made it too like fantastical.
it's
You know?
yeah, for sure. I get that, but it's also very unrealistic because she just you. Well, I guess I don't know. It depends on how you look at humanity. I thought it was unrealistic because she just used it for selfish reasons, you know. And her justification was like, oh, like she's
Totally.
done all the things that you would do if you
Yeah.
had the powers of a god, basically.
Right.
Like she was the ruler, she was rich, she was
Yeah.
famous, she did all, but that's all like ego feeding. Where it's like,
Right.
I feel like
The
some,
average person.
yeah, some people would want to like see how much good they can do in the
Totally.
world, or like find a way to
Funny
make
point.
society more equal or
Totally.
whatever. I don't know,
Anything.
but that was the only part that I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. She just became a god and then decided to torture these
Yeah.
fucking four like or however many girls. But yeah, and it was kind of like a Deus Ex Machina type of situation where like right in the last 5 minutes, it's like, oh yeah, I've been God this whole time. That's how we're explaining all this weird shit that's been happening in this episode.
Right,
so I didn't
right.
like that they just wrapped it up with that.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed like, oh well, okay. Like,
And it's funny you say about the whole self-serving thing, and even at the end how they ended it, where the black girl essentially becomes a ruler of everything.
yeah, she does the same thing.
Same thing.
She
And
does
that's what
same
the
shit.
audience and people on the internet were saying, like, what was kind of the point of that? Like, what do we take away from that shit?
Yeah.
And somebody was saying similar shit. I didn't pick this up, but her boyfriend in the beginning were saying, like, she used to love people worshiping her, and it kind of ended with people worshiping her. So it's like a funny little, I don't know. I don't even know what you would call that, but
Yeah. So next one.
this one, fun watch, but next one is Plaything. This one, again, kind of, I liked it a lot, but it made me feel weird. So Plaything, it's about, I guess it was in the 80s or 90s, like this eccentric loner. I say that because I just read the synopsis. This kid essentially discovers a video game. I'm trying to like put my thoughts together. A video game, but it's also an organic matter. It's like a living organism inside the video game. And it kind of reminded me of like Minecraft or Sims, how it looked like. It was like Minecraft. You would feed it, grow it, basically just do all of the stuff to make it live, and it would duplicate and essentially duplicates, and one day he takes LSD and he was able to understand what they were saying. Weird concept, very interesting. I've never seen anything like it, but
Well, they ultimately become like a super sentient like computer program. And the way they ended is where like the what were they called, like the goobies or something.
I don't remember what they were called.
They basically become like this super smart fucking intelligent
Oh yeah, I forgot how it
thing, and then they tried to like create the singularity where they just take over all human brains and then allegedly create like peace on Earth.
right.
So that was like their goal.
But
But the episode follows this guy and his like journey with these things.
he
So like
creates it or he discovers it, right?
somebody else creates it. He was a game reviewer.
Yeah.
So he goes to review it, and the guy who made it was like, "This isn't a game. This is
Yeah.
a living thing."
You're right.
So it's interesting because he's obviously like socially awkward or whatever,
Yeah.
and he does like a lot of LSD. So the whole time, what I thought was interesting is you kind of question whether or not this dude's like insane, or
Yeah.
if he's actually really like discovered this
Thing.
machine
Organic, yeah.
life or whatever. And then on top of that is like, are their intentions actually good,
Yeah.
or do they just want to kill all people?
And even like before that level, to me, and maybe I just quite didn't understand it, I was like, is that even possible to have an organic, a living thing inside a virtual?
It's not organic. It's like AI.
I swear they specifically said it was an organic thing. Okay,
No, it
that's where
wasn't.
I was like stuck on. Okay, got it.
It was a
It was just
program.
essentially AI. Okay.
He wrote like he wrote the code for it, and it just became like super smart.
Oh, okay. That's what was tripping up the entire time. That makes more sense that it was an AI thing.
I don't know if this mic is working.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
But I don't know.
Sometimes. See, like now it's not doing it. Now you said something.
Oh, hello? Weird.
What's up? Weird.
Oh, fuck. I hope it's getting
Yeah,
it.
but
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I just gotta talk like super close.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties, but
Bing bong.
interesting. What did you think, just overall?
I like that one better than fucking episode 1.
Better than the other.
I thought it was a more interesting concept because
Yeah.
with AI, I feel like we're heading in that direction anyways. It might not be a video game program, and it definitely probably is going to be something that looks like it's on the Atari, but we're probably going to come to a point where AI is smarter than people.
I mean, it already is, yeah.
And then the question is like, what do we do? Like if you have a program that's essentially, God.
Yeah.
Like what do you do?
Yeah. Exactly. So I like this one a lot, but I was kind of stuck on the organic thing, but now that we cleared that up.
Yeah, it's not organic.
And I also loved how it ended. Essentially, they ended up taking over our entire like internet computer systems and just fuck the humans basically.
Yeah, they send out a signal that
Yeah.
like just rewires the brain or something. I don't know. It's weird.
It was weird, but it was like this very uncomfortable signal that when you hear it, people just.
That's probably what it would be.
Yeah, no, it's definitely.
You feel me?
This one, oh my god, I keep it. This one I would give it like a 7.5. I liked it a lot, and it was interesting and unique.
Yeah, I'd probably give it the same.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that one definitely watch if you're just thinking of which one to watch. Okay, we're at our last two. This one, it was fun. Not fun. It was sad, but the eulogy one. This is the one that this random older guy, he gets this package, and it turns out they have this device that essentially when somebody dies, you can put it to your head. You're supposed to give a eulogy for it. You put it to your head, and it helps you remember the past memories. It kind of gave me Christmas of the Past, with Scrooge, and they take you to like old memories, and you of your life, and you do. I don't know. I just thought it was like kind of reminiscent. That was horrible explanation. Basically, you look at all this like moments in your life, and you decide where you went wrong, and it kind of gave me that vibe. So I was like, this is nostalgic. So from the start, I was like, I know I'm gonna like this one.
Yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites.
It was slow too.
It was very slow. It was a cool concept, but I felt like I was just watching one very long like therapy session.
I can see that, definitely.
And I'm not here for that, so.
It's funny. I don't think you've liked the one that's very much about like feelings and human.
I mean, they're all about feelings. I just don't.
Essentially, but this one was very much like.
Again, it was cool. It just wasn't like I would give it like a 4. You feel me?
I'd give it like a 6 or 7.
I wouldn't rewatch it. I'll say that.
Okay. I liked it a lot in the sense that I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It also reminded me of one of my favorite movies, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where you just have like a horrible relationship with someone. It doesn't have to be romantic. You just want to cut them out of your life, and they essentially. Oh, that's what it was. He was able to like cut them out of their life, like forget, or was it? Did they explain why he forgot? Just time.
Because he hated that bitch.
Well, he hated her, yeah. So he just didn't remember her, and in the end, he remembered her face. I thought it was very, I don't know, it was thought provoking. I know they're all supposed to be very thought provoking, but I felt like this one again, like the first one, I feel like we're very close to technology like that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's one of the ones that aren't going to fuck over humanity like the last episode with the playthings and stuff, I feel like this is one of those things we for sure will have in the next 10 years, and I think could be beneficial to humanity. And it's interesting to see it actually in play. So, yeah, I thought it was fun.
What would you rate it?
A 6.5. Just because I wish it existed and I want to experience it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Like there's like people like my grandma. I wish I could, just put that.
For sure.
Like definitely.
For sure.
The last one, which was my favorite, surprise favorite, which was called the USS Callister, which we've seen it throughout the seasons, at least throughout the last 2 seasons. This one essentially, again, it's a virtual one, that it's a virtual game, but you're in the galaxies and there's this team now on the Callister. But this time you see a lot of the other side, the real world of it. Whereas I feel like the other seasons, it was actually just in the galaxy world. So I just thought it was mimicking Star Wars.
They're in a video game.
They're in a video game, exactly.
So they think they're like on like this Star Trek type ship.
Star Trek.
Being like a crew or whatever, but it turns out it's a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So in this one, they're like clones of the actual people.
Yeah.
Which, again, in the last season, they go into more. So this one, without, going too deep into the weeds, is basically them trying to, like, figure out how to get out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's super trippy. I like this one the most.
Same. So trippy. Could have been, like, a movie on its own. It was just, like, a 30-minute or hour episode.
It could definitely be a movie. I don't know. I thought this one was the most, like, mind-bending, kind of, like...
Tied everything together, because the other ones, I didn't even like those episodes, honestly.
But I will say, like, the ending kind of annoyed me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because at the end, like, she just has, like, all the people in her head.
I thought that shit was weird.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you, like, take a shit or a shower? How do you, like, have sex and have a relationship? Like, how do you do anything when you got, like, literally 4 people in your head? Like 4 individual people. It's not like it's not like your own consciousness split into like it's like 4. Like imagine if like 4 of your coworkers just were in your head.
That's crazy.
And that's what they were. It's not even like they were friends. They were coworkers, dude.
That's like, actually crazy.
4 coworkers just chilling, watching my life. Fuck that.
It's just, oh my god, it was such a dynamic, like crazy episode. I was surprised it was just one episode, to be honest.
Yeah, it could have been a movie for sure.
Because like the sub story of the guy who was trapped inside the whole thing, I thought that was interesting,
Yeah.
And like
the game designer,
and just the story of the main girl, that shit was interesting, and like how she was different.
Yeah.
And then the story of the evil guy, but he's not really evil, the boss. He was just trying to
make that shmoney.
Solid 8.
Yeah, I'd probably give this a
solid 8.
A smooth 8.
Really liked it, and like I said, I did not like it.
Smooth jams.
I did not like it in the past seasons, just because I didn't really care about the Star Trek-y. Like that's what I thought they were trying to emulate.
Mm-hmm.
And like for a second, I forgot it was supposed to be a video game and all that shit. So overall, this season, how do you like it compared to the others?
It's not my favorite season.
I won't say it's not it's not one of my favorites, but it's not one of my least favorites. I'll say that.
I mean, it's okay. I feel like they try to focus more on like obviously like modern issues, like shit that's happening today,
right?
Like within the last 2 years or whatever,
right?
Whereas like I think in the last season they had like a lot of COVID references.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like they do that where they just try to make it very
to the times. Yeah, makes sense.
So. That's what's up, but if that's what we got going on, we need to step it up. COVID-20, do your thing or something, nigga. We need some more interesting episodes.
I liked it. There was some I was kind of like over, but overall, I did really like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to like, I would even say the first season. Like the first season, I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" You know what I mean?
But of course, the first season they had to make it, captivating enough that everyone was going to be like.
But that's what I'm saying.
And we never had shows like Black Mirror.
But that's what I'm saying. If 7 seasons in, we're hitting this like stalemate or whatever.
I don't even think about.
Then to me, that just means like we need to do something else.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember the creators of it said a statement like, we're not going to make new ones in a minute because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they even did.
I'm
surprised they even did, to be honest, because they could have waited at the little hiatus.
Or honestly, if they had just done if they had just focused on like 2 or 3 episodes and made those like 2-hour episodes.
Yeah.
And just really like
our favorite ones that we said, that would have been good.
Or any of them really. If they had just like doubled down on a couple and really gone deeper.
Yeah.
Almost like making like mini movies.
Yeah.
Then I feel like I would have appreciated it more.
Definitely,
You know what I mean?
definitely. I do want to, now that I said this, compared to other seasons, I don't remember all 6 other ones. I want to just rewatch it. Honestly,
Well,
we should
but
dedicate weekends to it.
fuck no, every single episode.
Maybe
Nah.
our favorite ones, not
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single, because every single, I didn't love all
exactly.
of them.
I was gonna say every season has like
couple of bangers.
2 or 3.
We
Exactly.
should do that
It's like
next
an album.
weekend. Yeah, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Should we wrap it?
We can, yeah. But
Final thoughts.
final thoughts, definitely watch Sinners 100%. You don't have to me, you don't have to watch all 6 or 7 episodes of season 7. 3, 4, if you want to watch the entire thing, you can, but definitely watch the last one. Definitely watch the eulogy one, just because I thought it was a fun little one. Watch the noir one with the quantum one. There's one more that I liked. Common People. But Hotel Riviera. I'm so silly. We didn't even talk about that one. Sorry. Before we go, you guys. Last one that I really loved that he actually didn't like that much was the one with Issa Rae. This is the one.
Oh yeah, fuck that one.
Oh my god, we did. Sorry, before we go. This is the one I really liked, and people on the internet actually didn't like it a lot either. This is Issa Rae is a famous actress, and they have this new technology where you can essentially put like the actress or actor inside the movie, and the people in the movie don't know. They think it's the same character basically, and then she gets stuck in this old movie. And to spoil it for you, she's a lesbian and she falls in love with the character of it. Turns out in real life that character was a lesbian, and then they get her out. Loved it. Such a unique concept. I know they're all very unique. I think Issa Rae did a really great job
playing Issa Rae. Fantastic.
The only thing what I saw on the shut up. The only thing that what I saw what people were saying as well is, if you have a technology like this, why are you just making
dumb movies?
And yeah, actors going in. Why isn't it like an experience? Let people use it and all that shit. And also, if you're doing this, why is there not a waiver if essentially the person can die in there if it gets ejected or fucked over? But that was one of my other favorites, so let me know your thoughts.
Hated it.
Why? Just because you thought Issa Rae was playing Issa Rae?
Not a fan of Issa Rae, but also I just thought,
love her.
I don't know, there's just moments in it where I was like, this is dumb. Like when she tells her that she's in a movie.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Like, why would you? She's not gonna understand the concept because.
Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that was annoying.
So, but and then also they were in there for like hella long. What did they eat?
Yeah, I mean there was food and shit there.
Okay, but how long does the food last in this movie?
Yeah. And
then in the movie, it's like whatever.
There was a lot of like.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. So it's like
holes.
you're just on like 2 or 3 sets for like what, months?
Yeah.
Just hanging out
for them to like fall in love, develop this relationship. Yeah.
And like, okay, maybe you don't have to eat because it's a movie or it's a program, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, fine. But wouldn't you just like go insane? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would just lose my shit.
I mean, that's why they fell in love, right? They had
nothing else to do. So then, is it really love, or were you just trapped in there with a? It's like that. It's like the desert island situation. Like, if it's just 2 people on an island, I feel like they're gonna either hate each other or love
each other, or both. I mean, that's funny. You say a little bit of both, probably. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Not my favorite.
It was just like a fun one they did, but when you think too deep about it, it didn't make sense, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was kind of silly. Of the whole movie it's an old 20s movie, and then they just randomly put a black woman in there. I thought that was like a weird thing. I just didn't get. Literally, you didn't change anything about the movie but the character. Yep. Like they could have redid the whole movie, but I don't know. That was my biggest problem with it. But fun episode in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just love a lesbian romance.
And on that note, guys,
we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.